Hello students, I am Dr. Sheikh A. Pratima, Ahmednagar Jilla Maratha Vidyaprasarak Samaj's New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Ahmednagar. Due to online lecture system, we cannot discuss law of demand in one video. So we already completed one video. On that video, we have discussed only the statement of the law of demand and symbolically relationship between demand and price. We know the demand means a desire of a commodity, only desire means not demand. We should have ability to pay, also willingness to buy. It can be said that demand. What does the law of demand says? Law of demand says when price of the commodity will rise, its quantity demanded will falls. It's very simple reason that if the prices of the commodity will rise, undoubtedly it will become unaffordable for some customers. So they will demand less. When they will demand less, ultimately demand falls. Same way, if the price will falls, the quantity demanded will rise. Because due to fall in price, it will become affordable for many customers. And when they will able to affordable, they will increases demand. So demand will rise. This statement will explain these all things. Means the statement of law is other things being equal. Higher the price of a commodity, smaller is the quantity demanded. And lower the price of a commodity, larger is the quantity demanded. This statement we already studied in the last video. But the one more thing is most important, the other things being equal. That sentence is also important because we know we have assumed that situation. These things is equal means it's a constant. So now we're going to discuss the assumptions of the law of. Next topic under law of demand is assumptions. Assumptions of the law of demand. Assumptions means we will assume something. You are just assuming some things. So the first assumption is constant level of income. So first of all, if you have to remember the statement of the law, so that time we have used the first sentence, the other things being equal or the constant. Means your income is constant. This law was assumed that consumers' income remains constant because we know if your income is increased, so you never consider the price about that commodity. If the price is increased, so that time you also demanded that commodity. Why? Because your income is increased. So this law was assumed that the people's income is never changed, it's a constant. For example, if income increases, people will demand more quantity of a commodity even at a higher price. Otherwise, they are the demanded the higher prices commodity. Then next, second, the assumption is no change in size of population. This law was assumed that the no change in the size of population because a change in population will bring about a change in demand. Even if the price remains the same, so the population will affect the demand. So that's why this law was assumed your population is constant. The next is the prices of substitute and complementary goods remains constant. So these are the two different goods. The substitute goods like a tea or coffee and complementary goods like a car or petrol. So if any change in the price of the substitute will affect the demand for the commodity. If price of tea rises, its demand will fall, but demand for coffee will increase. Tea and coffee is a substitute goods. So we know the car, same situation. In the next example is the complementary goods, car and petrol. We know what is the importance about petrol in the car. Without petrol, we never drive the car. So also these one commodity's price, if it is increased, so another commodity we never used. So that is the affect about these two commodities prices. So that's why this law was assumed that the complementary goods and substitute goods prices remain constant. The next assumption is no expectations about future changes in prices. We know that there should not be any change in the expectations about the prices of goods in future. We know the commodities price is always changed, but this law was assumed the after few days, otherwise in future if the prices will change automatically, at present the peoples will demanded more units of that commodity. So it's not accordable to this law. So that's why this law was assumed. If consumers expect that price will rise or falls in future, they will change their present demand though price is constant. So this is the assumption of this law, means no expectations about future changes in prices. Then next assumption is no change in taste habits. Due to changes in taste and preferences, people's demand for goods undergoes a change. So we know the taste habits are also affect the demand. So that's why the law will assume that no change in the taste and habits, because taste and habits, if it is changed, so automatically demand will be changed. Then next assumption, it is a no change in taxation policy. So the taxation policy of the government should not change. We know the tax policy, who was released the tax policy? The government was released the tax policy. It is a great impact on the demand for the various goods and services. If taxes will be rise, so that time we know the purchasing power is false. If the taxes falls, means it's a decreases, automatically the purchasing power will be increased and demand will be increased. So that's why it is not the accord, this condition is not accordable to this law. So that's why this law was assumed that situation, the no change in the taxation policy. It is a great impact on demand for various goods and services. So it is assumed that there is no change in the policy of taxation by the government. In this law, only price will not affecting the demand. The demand, income, population, taste, habits and fashions. Prices of substitute and complementary goods will also affecting the demand. So law of demand will assume that other things will constant except the price. Only price will be changed. Other factors never playing the active role of law of demand. So this is the law of demand, and this law is most important to your board exam. So the next point is the law of demand explains the inverse relationship between the price of a commodity and quantity demanded of it. This law is explained with the help of demand schedule and diagram. This schedule is better explained what is the condition about the demand and the price, why the price was affected. We know the basically the demand and price both are the same, means both are the affected part, and we have explained the situation about the price and demand. So this schedule was explained what is the condition about the commodities price and what is the condition about the demand. When the, if you have to see the schedule of demand, so the first column is price of commodity X in rupees, means we are express that price is rupees, and next is the next column is the quantity demanded of commodity X. So in this schedule the first price is 50 rupees per units of commodity, means the commodity we have selected the X commodity. So the 50 price is the highest price and last the 10 rupees is the lowest price. So 50 price means if it is a highest, so that time the demand is only 1 kg. Why? Because 50 is the highest price, so that's why the consumers will demand the 1 kg only. When price falls from rupees 50 to 40, okay, so the quantity demanded rises from 1 kg to 2 kg. Why? Because we are assume that we are express always the income is constant. Means income is never changed, it's constant. So that's why only price is false. So automatically your purchasing power is increased. So you have to demand it 1 kg to 2 kg. Similarly, at price rupees 30, quantity demanded is 3 kg. And when price falls from rupees 20 to rupees 10, so it is a lowest price, 20 rupees per kg and 10 rupees per kg. On that time, the quantity demanded rises from 4 kg to 5 kg. This schedule was expressed the simple thing, means if the prices will rise, so automatically the demand will falls, and if price will falls, so automatically demand will rises. So it is a inverse relationship between the demand and price. So this schedule shows an inverse relationship, but the demand schedule related diagram will better explain the law of demand. You have to see the demand curve. Before we have discussed the demand curve, we know the demand schedule. The price of commodity X in rupees and quantity demanded of commodity X in kgs. So if you have to remember the demand schedule, 50 rupees per kg, it is the highest price, and 10 rupees per kg, it's the lowest price. The demand curve represent in the DD. We know the x-axis represent the demand of the commodity and y-axis represent the price of a commodity in X. So you have to select the any commodity, but in this time we have selected the X commodity. DD is the demand curve whose slope is left to right downward. So the downward slope means it's a negative slope. It's represent the first price of a commodity, it's a 50 rupees per kg in the commodity is X. So the 50 rupees, it's the highest price. So what is the reaction about that consumer? He has to demand the only 1 kg of X commodity. Means the higher the price of the commodity, lower the quantity demanded. So you have to see that the graphical representation. So the next price throughout it's a false. Means the 40, then 30, then 20 and the 10. So the 10 is the lowest price of the commodity X in per kg. So the 10 rupees price, the reaction about that consumer, he has to demand the 5 kg in X commodity. So the 5 difference between the 5 kg and 1 kg. So the 50 rupees, it's the highest price, and the 10 rupees, it's the lowest price. So that time the demand will rise, means 10 rupees per kg of commodity X, the demand will rise at a 5 kg. So these all things we have represent in the demand curve. So that's why demand curve slope is left to right downward and it's a negative slope. It's represent the relationship between the demand and price. So we know the price and demand, it's an inverse relationship. In the next video, we also continue to the law of demand. Remaining part is the exceptions to the law of demand. So see you again. Thanks to all of you. Stay home, stay safe. Goodbye everybody.